Hi, this is Infinity, and I'm going to tell you how to win your Halloween contest this year. No money back guarantees, but this is going to greatly improve your chances. So, how do I know so much about this? Well, I've been entering Halloween contests for 45 years. That's a long time since I was a little kid. And I've made about 100 unique individual Halloween costumes by hand for me and my family. And yes, I did win most of those contests that I entered, at least in some capacity. And the few that I didn't, I knew in advance that it wasn't a winning situation for me. So before I get to the big three secrets of how to surely win your Halloween contest, let me give you some hints for the costume that you may already have or are in the process of working on if you've already made your decision on what you're going to be. So number one is to choose the correct contest to go to in the first place. The larger the prize, the bigger the competition. So if you have a nice costume that is nice, um, going to a place where the prize is $1,000 probably isn't going to cut it. Those $2,000 prizes, trips to Mexico, those are places where you have to have one of the big three type of costumes in order to enter. So choose the contest that you're going to according to the kind of costume that you're wearing. If you're wearing something basic and you do want to win, go to a contest where the prize is $100 or less, and at least you're winning something. Because going to the place where it's $1,000 and up, you're not gonna win unless you have something really, really phenomenal. That's for the high rollers, and I'll tell you how to be one of those high rollers. So choose your contest wisely. And also, within doing that, also make sure that it's appropriate for you. So if you're an adult, do not enter a contest made for children. And if you're an older adult, a baby boomer or older, it's not always the best idea to go to a contest where people are in their 20s and 30s. Likewise, if you go to a bar or restaurant that is frequented by regulars, very often management wants to give the prize to one of their regular customers that they see on almost a daily basis. They don't want to give it to some outside interloper. And the one contest to avoid, unless you have a lot of very close friends, is contests where the prize is based on audience applause. Those contests are almost never won by somebody who has the best costume. Those prizes are always won by whoever brought the most friends with them and did the most clapping. The other way you could win with that, if that is your goal, is popularity. And what's popularity is anything that is scary. Um, Sometimes things, sadly, pornographic things have won for that reason. Things that are politically correct or politically incorrect, things that make a bold statement that's going to really get the attention of the audience. It is a gamble, and the people who win that usually are the people who just brought 20 friends with them and said, everybody, you better clap for me. So once you pick your contest or contests that you're going to go to, I usually go anywhere from between 1 to 10 contests a year. So we're talking over 500 contests that I've been in my lifetime. Get a sewing machine. Get a sewing machine. If you can't get a hold of a sewing machine, become friends with someone who has a sewing machine and learn how to use it. It's not that hard. Now we can learn how to do anything on YouTube. Here's a sewing machine. Okay, they do still exist. Get a sewing machine. You can't just rely on putting things together. At some point, something's going to have to be sewn. So, as far as the costumes that you're making, the most important thing is authenticity, realism, and accuracy to the costume that you're being. So, I'd like to point out in the category of animals. If you are going to be an animal, do not show any human skin at all, or human hair. And this includes the skin on your face and on your hands. If you look at the Broadway musical Cats, I think that play might have closed 10 or 20 years ago. Um, the actors all had on complete facial makeup. I don't remember what they wore on their hands because it was a long time ago. Do not show any human skin. So any part of your body, all of your body should be covered in some type of clothing, and your face should be completely covered in makeup. If you don't want to put makeup on your hands, I know that's a pain, wear gloves. And then if you're a mammal, you can always glue the fake claws to the gloves. And that even goes for your feet. So realism, do not show any skin at all, please. If you're an animal, an insect, anything, that just, it, it takes away from the realism, the accuracy and authenticity of being an animal. Period costumes. Costumes where you are a human, but you're a human that took place in a different time period. Do not have anything on you that is of today. Okay, your cell phone sticking out of your pocket, your car keys, some other modern thing is not going to make sense if you're dressed in Victorian garb. And ladies, do not bring your pocketbook. The best thing to do as your pocketbook is to make a little drawstring pouch out of leftover material that you use to make your costume with, which is easy to do if you have one of those. Um, and at least it matches, but don't walk around with a pocketbook. It just kills the whole moment. Try to incorporate whatever purse you need to wear as part of the costume. Another good piece of advice is when choosing the costume is to make it appropriate for your body type. So if you are a short person, if you're a short guy, you shouldn't go dressed as Lou Ferrigno as the Hulk. Or again, you shouldn't try to be a tall character if you're a shorter person, or a muscular character if you're thin, or and vice versa. If you're a big person, then you don't want to go as something that you're better off being petite as, like an elf, right? If you're tall, you don't want to dress up as an elf. It doesn't make sense. So choose a costume keeping with your body type. Now, really, the best bit of advice that I could give you is when making a standard, not one of the big three costumes, but a standard costume, is have a prop. I think half of the times that I won, which was numerous, we're talking over 50, maybe 100 times, maybe more than that. I think a lot of the reason that I won was because of the prop that I carried around. In many instances, if I did not have the prop, my costume might have gotten, yeah, some compliments. Oh, yeah, that's cute. You're this, you're whatever. Yeah, that's nice. But in so many cases, it was the prop that made me win the prize. And if you're a lady and you have this pocketbook situation, try to see if, excuse me, I have a piece of hair in my mouth. Try to see if somehow the prop can be your purse. If it's a 3D prop, try to see if there's an area that you can use to put your stuff in and it'll double as your purse. Any kind of prop that you can use is always going to add. Remember, you only need one hand to drink. And if you're eating, you can just put the prop down on the table while you're having your meal at the party. If you're in a situation where, say, you're on crutches or you need a cane to walk or something, pick a costume where a cane is used. Any kind of prop that you can think of that goes with the costume is going to it's going to really double, if not triple, your chances of winning. The exception is if you're an animal, animals really don't carry stuff around, but do try to come up with a prop to go with your costume. So these things alone is greatly, vastly, even if you just listen to half of what I said, you're going to double your chances of winning at your costume contest. So finally, the big three. The big three that'll definitely make you win unless there's someone else at the party doing one of the other big three. And in that case, you'll come in second, maybe third. And that's only if you're at one of the high roller parties where the prize is over $1,000. The big three is larger than life, lights up, or has movable parts. So when I say larger than life, I mean your costume is larger than the size of a human being, that human being being you. If you're 5 feet tall and you dress up as a person that's 7 feet tall, that's enough. If you're one person and you have one of those costumes where you're two people, those are good. Now, there are more and more people doing that because costume shops are actually manufacturing those costumes. But when I first saw it done, think in the 1980s, boy, was it a splash. So larger than life. This means if you own a van, a pickup truck, an SUV, or other large vehicle, that's how you're going to get to the party. A regular car will not get a larger than life costume to the party. So you do need the correct vehicle to have a larger than life costume. Another good way is to have your costume light up. And by light up, I mean after you've already done all those other things on the list, have your costume illuminate in some capacity, either all the time or with an on and off switch, because you're going to have a battery pack on you. Um, and that will get even more attention and more kudos, especially to the judges, if it illuminates. But again, that's only if you've obeyed all the other stuff. And the other big one is to have the costume move in some way. Okay. Almost all costumes out there are a fixed object. They're stationary. If your costume has moving parts, you're good to go. That's pretty much it. So by moving parts, I mean if you have a costume where wings are required, right? Instead of the wings just sitting there, rig up a pulley system where the wings can actually move and flap if you're a butterfly, an angel, a bumblebee, any kind of moving parts. Um, the peacock tail that I made where it goes up and down, very popular. And you can see YouTube videos for just the past 2 or 3 years of costumes that I made. Not too many because I'm new to YouTube. And yes, all those costumes did win. There were some costumes. If you want to, you can subscribe. I only make a couple of videos a year, and you'll see all my past and present, future Halloween costumes. Either there's some lighting involved, some of them, not all of them, movable parts, some of them, not all of them, again, and props. I haven't done the larger than life thing, and yeah, and I do own a minivan, so I certainly could, but I just haven't done that yet. Maybe another year. So that's it. So the big three secrets are larger than life, lights up, and I'm going to put that one in third place, and movable parts. Um, it doesn't have to be fancy, the movable parts. If you really like have an engineering degree and you could have a battery pack of something that moves back and forth, great. Otherwise, have something on a pulley string, the similar way that puppet strings would be used, so that some part of your costume actually moves in of itself, without you physically grabbing the butterfly wings and holding them up or something that moves on its own accord. Um, so that's it. And I hope you take this advice and you use it to win. And if you win something based on this advice, I would love to hear from you in your comments. And do hit subscribe. I only put out a couple of videos a year, but it's all quality stuff on Halloween, and maybe I might add another topic, but for now, Halloween costumes. Okay, happy Halloween, everyone.